Disclaimer: Chaz's Sound Test is a non-profit podcast. I don't own any of the music on this show. It's just for fun. I just want to share my love of music, specifically video game music, with all of you guys. Please like, subscribe, don't flag, enjoy the show. Deuces. Well. It's been about 2 months since the last episode. Welcome to another episode of the Sound Test, the video game appreciation, I can't even talk about damn podcast. Welcome to the Sound Test, the video game music appreciation podcast. I messed it up again. It's late. It's for the record. It's March 11th, 2018. The last episode was posted in January, I want to say, at least. I apologize for my voice. It may sound a little raspy because I'm getting over a cold. That sucked. Yeah, like episode 9 came out in January, and February was busy. Can't talk. February was very busy. So, a lot of things happened since then. Like I said, I got sick, but before that, in, what was it? Late February, Winter Brawl 12 happened, which is a fighting game tournament in Pennsylvania, specifically Philadelphia. And I was there, and I entered Dragon Ball FighterZ, got beat up really bad in that. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which I did decent at, got 2-2. And I did the best in King of Fighters. I placed top 16. Hooray me. That was fun. I mean, like, everything about it, the venue was nice. Getting to compete and, like, getting to, like, meet new people who play games, that was great. The whole experience with Dragon Ball FighterZ was not great. No offense to Big E or, like, the tournament organizer or anybody else, but just the whole... There was a lot of things wrong with the Dragon Ball FighterZ tournament. Like, for example, like, the fact that there was no player cap. That sucks. Because there was, like, literally people entering in for, like, the first day and a half who just hadn't even gotten to play a game yet. And there was at least over 300 people playing. It was just, you had to wait maybe 45 minutes to play your first or second game. It was just a nightmare. Like, I played my first game. Well, first of all, the tournament was supposed to start at 7, I believe. And I didn't get my first match until about close to 9 o'clock. Lost it because everyone's playing Goku Black and Android 16. That's the new hotness right now. And I waited about almost another hour just to play my second match, and that was terrible. Like, I could have gone out to eat, could have done plenty of things in that time frame, but I waited because I didn't want to leave because I was afraid that in the event that I step foot off the venue, they're gonna call my name and I get disqualified, and that sucks because also at Winter Brawl, I forgot to mention, every game was free to enter except Dragon Ball FighterZ. That's the big money game right now, obviously, and yet you pay to get into that tournament. So I didn't want to get disqualified out of the one game I actually paid to enter. You know what I mean? So that happened. Played my first match, lost terribly to Android 16 like I normally do. Played my second match, beat a whole team of Gokus. I was pretty happy about that. I beat Goku for free all the time. Then I waited, and then I was hungry, and I had a migraine because I didn't eat since like 3 o'clock, and it was 9:45, close to 10 o'clock. Faced my third and final match because I lost to another Android 16 and Goku Black team. Yay. But that's what that is. We're going to play some music from that game, too. Dragon Ball FighterZ has some pretty good music. It's not like... it's not done by Daisuke Ishiwatari, like the Guilty Gear Blaze Blue guy, so it's like... It's good. There's like 2 songs that are really, really good that I'm going to play later, but I'm not going to play them yet. And also, another noteworthy thing for you Nintendo people out there, like me, there was a Direct that came on a couple days ago. And there was a lot of stuff that was announced there, including a new Smash Brothers. Not a port of the Wii U Smash Brothers like I originally thought it was going to be, or people speculated for months and months. But it's actually a new game, and it's coming out later this year, which is pretty absurd. But then again, there was rumors going around that Sakurai had started working on this game like literally immediately after the DLC for the previous game was the last DLC had come out. So basically after Bayonetta had come out, he had already started the next game, which is insane if you ask me. Like, because he already has this whole thing with his right arm, and he's like injured, kind of. He has like I don't know, I can't even think of the word right now, but he has like a swollen wrist because he's been working nonstop for like the last like 15 years or something like that. It's crazy, but he's still making that money, still doing Smash Brothers, so that's pretty cool. But let's get started with some music to break up the monotony a little bit. There's this how do I describe it? There's this detective story game. I've never played it. It's the D series, and I know about D3 and D4 only because I've watched Let's Plays of them. But D4, the opening song is fantastic. I love it. It's published by Access Games. It only came out on PC and Xbox One. Came out about 3 years ago. There's a few composers. I'm not gonna name all of them, but I like Tomomi Teratani. I'm terrible at Japanese names. I've been following this stuff for so long, but I'm still bad at them. Anyway, I'm gonna play the opening song for D4 to start off with, and then we'll make moves from there. This is the opening song for D4. Dark Dreams Don't Die. That's the alliteration there. Let's listen to that now. I've never played those games, but that song is just awesome. I love it a lot. Excuse me, I'm gonna be doing that a lot in this episode. I'm sorry. But yeah, the direct happened, and let's backtrack a little bit. Because we didn't talk about Evo stuff either. Evolution, the World Championship of Fighting Games. That there was the announcement for those games were also announced during the hiatus between the last episode and this one. So surprisingly about that, only one Capcom game is in this year, and that's Street Fighter V, obviously. And Marvel, for the first time in a very long time, got the boot. There was no MVC game at Evo, at least not on the main stage anyway. There's undoubtedly going to be a big high-level side tournament for it, obviously. Same thing with King of Fighters 14. King of Fighters 14 is not on the main roster, main lineup, to my disappointment. But because, you know, it's KOF 14 is my game. That's my favorite game out right now as far as like fighters. So sorry, but there's 3 ArcSys games on the lineup. Guilty Gear Xrd made the cut because it did really well last year. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, which technically isn't even out yet, and it was probably it's not coming out for at least 2 months before Evo. So I think it comes out in May, I want to say, like May or June. It's like really late in the game, and we don't know how that game's gonna play. We don't know if it's gonna be busted and broken, but it made the Evo lineup because this is the year of ArcSys as far as Evo is concerned. And lastly, to no one's surprise, Dragon Ball Fighters made the lineup because that is the hot game right now. That is the it game. Everyone's pushing Dragon Ball FighterZ as the A-lister game. It's not going to be the last game. I doubt it, because I think they already talked about the scheduling, and Street Fighter is going to be the last game, because it's always the last game, because at the heart of it, at EVO's core, it is a Capcom tournament, despite the fact that this is the 1 year where there's only one Capcom game on the lineup. But anyway, I've been playing a lot of that game. I like Dragon Ball FighterZ. I think there's some... God, I think there's some goofy things in it. There's some... I'm not gonna point a finger and say busted characters or busted mechanics. It's a little silly. I do like the game a lot, but there's some goofy things. There's goofy things that go on in that game. I play Trunks, Android 21, and Adult Gohan. That's my team in the game, and I do play other characters, but I don't have teams for them. Like, I play Vegeta, which Vegeta was on my team originally, but swapped him out for Android 21 because I like Android 21, and that's probably a mistake because Vegeta's like the best assist character in the entire game. So, and I've noticed that I've started to not necessarily lose a lot more, but like it's opening up characters, opening up opponents has become much harder now that Vegeta's not on my team. So it's like now I have to think of an entirely new game plan. But yeah, the game's fun. There's a lot of problems with the netcode. Not necessarily that people have been lagging or like... There's been a lot of rage quitting too. I've noticed that. And outside of that, there's just random drops from the lobby in general. Like it just happens sporadically. It's just because ArcSys is using its own in-house built netcode, which normally isn't that bad because I used to play Guilty Gear Xrd online a lot, and I never had any of those kind of drops that Dragon Ball's been having, but I don't know what's going on. Evidently, they're going to patch it at some point, and they're going to fix it, but that is yet to happen, or if it has happened, I haven't noticed a change yet, because it's still happening to me. But, regardless... let's talk about the music for the game, because the music, I'm not going to say that it's generic or just kind of like runs together, but it's a lot of butt rock. I mean, like, because normally ArcSys metal is like memorable, you know what I mean? Because I'm not going to say that all rock is like butt rock, because that's not true. But it's just like Guilty Gear songs stand out. Same thing with Blaze Blue songs. They stand out really well. Like, well, this is from this game or this is from that game. But a lot of the Dragon Ball songs are they're alright. I think a like, I don't know if that did that DLC, because there was DLC for, like, pretty much BGMs from the original anime. Like, I forget the composer's name, but, like, the original Japanese show. And it's, like, old school 80s BGMs. That's supposed to be DLC for the game or something, but I would prefer, I think that should have been in the game by default. That's just my opinion, but to just, you know, capture the essence of Dragon Ball. And not even that, like, not even saying that the music's bad, because there's a lot of the older Dragon Ball Z games had really good music. I mean, like, despite how shitty a game like Dragon Ball Final Bout and Ultimate Battle 22, those games were terrible, but they had really good songs. Or like Super Dragon Ball Z for PS2, that also had really good music. But there's only 2 songs that I think everyone likes. Well, one I know everyone likes, and the other one I think is just my personal favorite. I'm gonna play those 2 now. The probably by far everyone's favorite is the West City stage. It's like super trance, like electronica stuff, and everybody loves that. And Hits Theme is the other song I'm gonna play, and that's my personal favorite because it's jazz. So, and naturally, as a KOF player, I love fighting to jazz music. But anyway, let's play those 2 songs now. It's Hits Theme, well, not Hits Theme first. West City from Dragon Ball FighterZ first, and then Hits Theme. I apologize for those excerpts, not even excerpts, it's the whole song. I apologize for those songs being so long. I can only find 6-minute versions of them, and that's what it was. But anyway, this is the last bit of fighting game talk I'm gonna have for tonight. I'm sorry, there was so much fighting game stuff that happened in the span of the 2 months since the last episode. I just want to get them out of the way. But the last fighting game thing I want to talk about is Fighting EX Layer, developed by Arika. Finally got a release date recently. And not a specific release date, just release month, I should say. It's coming out in June. And there's going to be 2 versions of it. I'm so sorry. It's going to have 2 versions. One's going to be a standard version, like, and that's going to be 40. And that's going to have... I'm trying to remember the amount. That one's going to have about 5 Gogis, and what Gogis are like they're like the grooves, if you're familiar with like Capcom vs. SNK 2, or they're like the isms. They're basically like modes, like kind of like in Street Fighter Alpha 3. You have like, there's a offensive one, and there's a defensive one, and there's one where you have a infinite meter Gogi, and you have a speed Gogi, and you have a super armor Gogi. It's things like that. But then, like, you get more depending on which version, because there's 2 versions of the game. There's a standard version, which is like $40. It's digital only, by the way. And the $40 version only has about 5 starting off. And then, like, the definitive version, which I think is the full $60, and then that one you get like 20 Gogis, and they're all unique to each character, and it's crazy. But for those who don't know what that is, Fighting EX Layer is basically Arika, the developers of Street Fighter EX, and another game with some of those characters, some of the original characters from that game in it, in a brand new game, because they've that game had been... Arika had been talking about possibly making another fighting game, like, for maybe 5 or 6 years now. I'm gonna get some water. Give me 1 sec. They had discussed making a new game possibly for a while now, but no one thought that was actually going to happen until they actually put out this weird April Fool's teaser. Like they put out an April Fool's thing on YouTube, on their YouTube channel, where it made it appear like the game was fake, like it was an April Fool's joke. But the joke was, I guess, that it actually wasn't a joke, and they're actually making a new Fighting Layer-esque game with those characters in it, like Skullomania's in it, and Blair Dane recently got announced, and Doctrine Dark is in there, and my boy Jack, formerly Cracker Jack, he's just Jack now, and Alan Snyder, my other dude, is in the game, and like a lot of those characters are in it now, are there. Nobody new yet, no new characters, and no more return. Like, the 2 characters that got announced recently, like I said, were Blair and Jack. And then in that trailer, there was silhouettes for 2 or 3 more, and like people are already speculating who they could be. I mean, Darren Meister's already in the game. I want Pullum Perna to be in the game, because that's who I played in Street Fighter EX 1 and 2. Garuda's already in the game, and it's fun for people who were like, for like the 9 people who actually like the Street Fighter EX games, and like the other 2 people who like Fighting Layer and who have even played that game. It looks promising, and there was a demo build that came out in December. It's fun. I don't think it's gonna be a competitive game, because even the creator, the producer, Arika, like Akira Nishitani, I think his last name is, Akira, he said that the game's probably not gonna be balanced for competitive play. It's just gonna be fun. So like, he said that on Twitter. So like, who knows if he's actually gonna like keep that thing he just said. But I'm gonna play the game because I like the Street Fighter EX games, and I like Fighting Layer. So naturally, and I like those characters. So naturally, I'm gonna play it. But if it's not played in tournaments, that's not gonna be a heartbreaker, because I'm already playing 3 games competitively now. So I'm not gonna be upset about that. What I will be upset about is if they change any of the music. But so far, like from what I played in the demo build of the game back in December, it has a lot of rearranged Street Fighter EX2 music, which is fine because Street Fighter EX2 has a phenomenal soundtrack, as does EX1. And I'm gonna play a couple songs from that now. Specifically, two of my favorites, Flash Train from Street Fighter EX2 and Amusementive Crime 2, which is the sequel to Skullomania's theme from Street Fighter EX1. Also, I'm going to play a couple songs from this AM2 game that I never knew existed, called Outtrigger. It's a first-person shooter made by Yu Suzuki, the creator of Virtua Fighter and a multitude of Sega racing games from back in the day. And yeah, I watched a lot, like, Let's Plays of it. It looks pretty interesting. Like, and I still have my Dream. It only came out for the Dreamcast, and I might actually like try to get it, even though Dreamcast games will cost you like a car or or the price of your house. They're expensive, but yeah, like I'm gonna play Street Fighter like Flash Train from Street Fighter EX2, Amusement of Crime 2 from Street Fighter EX2, and two songs from Outtrigger, specifically Limit and Iron Doll. Right now. actually really like that soundtrack. I recommend anybody who's like big into the Dreamcast and like maybe hasn't heard of that game, or like, because I definitely didn't hear about it until maybe a few months ago. Like I didn't know that existed, and I was a big Dreamcast guy. But Outtrigger, made by AM2, like, and specifically Yu Suzuki, the man behind Virtual Fighter, made that game, and it just like fell under the radar apparently. But let's get back to, before I get deeper into the direct stuff, let me talk about one more thing. On PS4 lately, I've been playing the Secret of Mana remake, and I really like it. A lot of fans of the original Secret of Mana for the SNES like have been either like just kind of picking it apart or just been outright bashing the game. I'm like, I think it's okay. Like, I've only played maybe about an hour of the original Secret of Mana, because I have it on the SNES Classic, but it's fine. Like, the original's fine, because I didn't really get deep into it to have, like, because I don't really have nostalgia for it, because I didn't play it back then. But, I want to say I'm about, like, maybe 5 or 6 hours into the remake, and I really like it. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'll admit that the remake art style is a little dated. It doesn't look like it. They tried to capture. I get what Square-Enix tried to do with it. They tried to recapture the feel of the original Super Nintendo version, which I get that. It looks kind of. It doesn't look like it should be on PS4. It looks like a 3DS game. I'm surprised it didn't get a 3DS port, because it seems like a 3DS game. But yeah, I visually like it, and I like what they did with the game, and they added like voice, like VO to the game, like completely, and they have like the option to have like the arranged music or the original SNES music, which I think is also a nice touch, and you can change it anytime within the game, kind of like Xenoblade 2, if anybody's playing that. I'll admit that I'm not a huge fan of the remake music. It's all, some of them are alright. It's like hit or miss. But I personally like, right now I'm playing with the original SNES music. Same thing with the voice acting. Like, the English VO is not great. From what I heard of it, I immediately changed it to Japanese, and I'm not like that type of person who bashes all dubs, because I'm a big fan of a lot of English voice actors in games and anime and so on and so forth. So it's not that, it's just I recognize the quality when I hear it, and like it's not there for the English voices at all. So I just like currently I'm playing with the Japanese voices and the original SNES soundtrack. So that's my layout for the game. And when I finish the game, I might go back to play the original SNES version to see how they compare and contrast. Like, 'cause it's a lot. I admit some of the animation's a little janky too. Like there's a lot of like jump cuts in the characters and the enemies' movements and stuff. It looks a little weird, but I'm still enjoying the game anyway. I'd like to actually play the game 3 players, because that's one of the few JRPGs on the SNES that was 3 players. That was multiplayer in general, I should say. But the game is fun. I'm really enjoying it. I'd like to play with 2 other people at some point. I might play it on stream at some point, I guess, but I'm really liking it. There's there's not a lot of like songs that stick out to me outside of one theme, and that's the main forest theme that you hear at the very beginning of the game. And there's not a lot of songs in the game anyway. I would say there's probably about less than 50 songs in Secret of Mana. There's not a lot. I think there's maybe like 30 or 40 songs in the whole game, but In the Thick of It is the name of the forest theme. I really like that. Specifically the SNES version. The remade version's cool too, but I really like the SNES version. And yeah, I'm gonna play both the original and the remade versions of that song, followed by another song, like another is it a Square-Enix game? Let me actually look that up. There's another game that a lot of people may know for the PS1 called Threads of Fate. That's the English version. The Japanese version is called Dew Prism, where you play as like these 2 kids, and I think they're like, I've never actually played it. I've only watched people play it, and I've seen Let's Plays of it, but there's like 2 children, and their fates are linked together, and they may or may not be one person. I'm not sure of the whole plot, but the music's really good in it, and I'm gonna play about 3 songs from that too. But first we're gonna start with the Secret of Mana songs. Well, it's one song into the thick of it. And I'm gonna play 3 songs from Threads of Fate, which is a PS1 game. I've been told it didn't age very well. I'm gonna try to play it anyway at some point, probably on my channel. But I really like the music, and the music's getting me to want to play it anyways. But we're gonna play the 2 versions of the Secret of Mana in the thick of it theme. First the original, then the PS4 version. Then we're gonna play 3 songs from Threads of Fate. We're gonna play Passing Through the Forest, Razdan, and my personal favorite, A Chance Meeting, which is the 3rd one. So those 5 songs are coming up right now, and then after that I'll finally talk more about the Nintendo Direct in depth. Let me give a shout out to Junya Nakano, best known for his work on Final Fantasies X and 13, along with Nobuo Uematsu. Because his music in that game, well, in Threads of Fate, really good. Like, I never even played the game, but, like, his music makes me want to play the game. I've never even, like, seen footage of the game. But, and prior to that, I played In the Thick of It, which is from Secret of Mana, and I never actually heard that much of the PS4 version. Well, at least I don't remember listening to that much of the PS4 version, because that's right, because I played with the classic music. But that version, the PS4 version, isn't as bad as I originally said it was. And not to say it was bad, I do prefer the SNES version more. But that one, the PS4 version, isn't nearly as bad as I said it was, as I initially thought it was. Like, I'll give credit to the arrangement of that. It's really good too. Let's finally get down to the Nintendo Direct that happened a couple days ago. There's a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna go over everything. I'm gonna go over what I specifically cared about. More like specifically, like, it started off with a bunch of 3DS stuff. Like, shout outs to the 3DS for still being alive. Let me talk about that for a minute. Like, there's like 6 new 3DS games coming out, which are, okay, new in quotations, because a lot of them are just remakes of, like, not remakes, but ports of a bunch of Wii U and GameCube and some, like, DS games, like Luigi's Mansion's coming back. Yay, someone cares enough. And there was a few others that I can't remember off the top of my head, but then they talked about Okami HD is getting a Switch port, which is, that's fine. I mean, I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but Okami's cool. But out of all the Clover Studio Capcom games to come back, I really want Beautiful Joe to come back. Like, I would have taken Beautiful Joe over Okami. I was taking a Beautiful Joe HD over Okami HD any day. Like, really, I want that so bad. Like, it doesn't even have to be both 1 and 2. If I could just get a port of one on a newer console, I'd be totally okay with that. Super alright with that. I would have killed to have Beautiful Joe on Switch. That'd have been great. But, you know, Okami got ported again, because this is the 3rd time it got ported. It was on the PS2 first, then it got a Wii port, and now it has a Switch port. I think it had a Wii U port too, if I'm not mistaken. It's gotten ported a lot, and Beautiful Joe just has that one release on the GameCube and the PS2. So there was 2. That's it. That's not fair, man. I want Beautiful Joe again. But anyway, they talked about Mario Tennis Aces. Let's talk about that for a minute, because I'm really into the Mario. I love the Camelot Mario sports games. I think they're all really well done. Like, some of them are kind of forgettable. Like, I feel like the Mario baseball games are kind of forgettable, but Mario Golf's cool. I like that, and I'm not very good at that game anyway. But Mario Tennis is my jam. You need to understand. Like, I played a little bit of the N64, the original N64 game, but Mario Power Tennis on the GameCube is one of the best games ever. Like, I'm going to go as far as say I think it's the best tennis video game, period. It's so fun. I love it. Like, you get the unique courses. Each character has their own, like, power shot, and, like, they're all unique. And, like, just, I mean, it doesn't play like actual tennis, obviously. So if we're going by that standard, probably the best tennis game would probably be, like, virtual tennis, I guess. But Mario Power Tennis is so much fun. Like, I still occasionally play that game with my friends today. Like, that game came out in, like, 2005, and it's still the best one. And I was, like, highly disappointed in Ultra Smash for Wii U. It's so lackluster and bad. Like, it's not even bad. It's just, there's nothing to that game. There's no additional modes. It's just single player, multiplayer. There's no custom courts like in the GameCube one. It's just, here's the red court, here's the blue court, here's the green court, and that's it. Like, there's like 5 or 6 characters, and then there's literally nothing to that one. I was highly disappointed. And, like, Nintendo didn't even talk about it before they released it. They just kind of, like, mentioned, like, hey, Wii U Ultra Smash, it's coming. Then it came out. Oh, it sucks. Don't like. Sorry, you bought the game for $60 and it's nothing practically. I was so disappointed. But this one, they're actually talking about it. There's like Aces is the name of it, the new Mario Tennis. There's mechanics. There's like a slowdown mechanic, and then now there's like the tennis rackets have durability now, and that's awesome and crazy. And there's like the Chain Chomp is a playable character. That's nuts, and I'm gonna play the Chain Chomp because he looks like he's trying so hard with no arms and legs. It's great. I cannot wait. It seems like this is like the true sequel to Power Tennis. Like this is what the Wii U one should have been, in my opinion. But I'm super ready for that. And there's going to be like a global test thing, kind of like Switch has been doing that for a lot of their online multiplayer games. Like ARMS had one, I believe Pokken had one too, and naturally Splatoon had one. We'll talk about Splatoon in a little bit. And then they're going to have a online tournament test thing. They mentioned it on the direct. I'm not sure what like exactly they were talking about, but I'm going to play that because I love Mario Tennis, and I will gladly play that game competitively. I'm so down for it. So that's coming out in late June, I believe. I'm totally getting that. Either late May or late June. I don't remember off the top of my head. Now let's get to the crux of the direct. It was really the last two games that were the most bizarre announcements. You had the Splatoon 2 updates announcement. See, I'm not gonna get into detail about it because I don't really play the Splatoon games. I like the universe of Splatoon. I like the aesthetics. And I really like the music, which is what I'm gonna get into. But I really like that game, the visuals of the game and the music of the game. But I don't particularly play it because it's a shooter and I'm shit at all shooters. But the very end of the Splatoon 2 update trailer has a story mode expansion called the Octo expansion. But before we knew about that, after the main like gameplay updates, like the new stages and new costumes and stuff, after that ended, there was this really like long vignette. It was like a music video, and it introduced a new character, and she was like walking through the subway and interacting with the characters from the previous game. Well, no, the main two girls. See, I'm talking about Splatoon like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. I don't know the characters' names or anything, but like the two new girls that are in it, and she walked by them, and they were dressed like Tupac and Biggie. It was really weird, and there was like this weird Missy Elliott-esque like music, like this song playing. I'm gonna play it. That's what I'm trying to build up to. I'm gonna play that song, but it was strange. It was just really weird, but it was awesome, but it was weird. And then finally, when it seemed like everything was done, in true Nintendo Direct fashion, they held everything off for one last trailer, and it built up with the two Inkling characters from the first Splatoon running around shooting each other. So I thought it was like maybe a remake of Splatoon 1, which would be weird, considering that from what my understanding is, 2 has everything that 1 had and more, so they'd be weird. They just ported Splatoon 1 to Switch. That'd be bizarre to me. But you see the Inkling kids running around shooting each other in typical Splatoon fashion, and then the Inkling boy runs away, and then the screen fades to black, and the Inkling girl is just looking around in fear and confusion, and then she looks behind her, and then the camera zooms into her iris. Everybody knows, if you've seen the direct, you know what I'm talking about. It's a meme now. Like they zooms into her iris, and then within her iris, she sees the Smash Brothers logo, and then it pans out, and the Smash Brothers logo is on fire for some reason, and it's like she's been summoned to hell because of Smash Brothers. And then in the foreground, you see a bunch of characters, silhouettes. We don't see their faces, and then they give you close-ups of Link's face, but you can't really see it because it's shrouded in darkness. Same thing with Mario. His face is shrouded in darkness, and he's just staring at you like, prepare for eternal damnation. That is Smash Brothers. It was so weird, but I loved it. But yeah, it was a trailer for, it was a teaser for Smash on Switch. in 2018, so it's coming out this year. And bizarrely enough, Sakurai confirmed that it is a new game. As I mentioned this earlier in the podcast, it's a new game. It's not just a port of Smash Wii U, but then again, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some used assets from the Wii U game, probably most likely, considering that it seems like it's really early for a new Smash Brothers. But I guess it was 3 years ago, but like, and he'd been apparently Sakurai had been working on it since the last update for Smash Wii U, which was 3 years ago, believe it or not. That came out 2015. So that's happening, and it's just really strange. Like, this is probably one of the weirdest directs ever. Like, well, specifically the Splatoon 2 and Smash stuff was just weird and bizarre, and just, I hate using this term, it was very avant-garde. It was different. It was very different, but I liked it. I'm ready for Smash on Switch. Before that, I'm definitely ready to play Mario Tennis. I'm really excited for that. So I'm gonna play for the next 4 songs. Well, technically the last 4 songs. I'm gonna play my 2 favorite songs from Mario Power Tennis, which is the Delfino Plaza Court and the classic NES Mario Classic Court songs. And then I'm going to play the Missy Elliott, Gwen Stefani weird Splatoon Octo expansion song. I don't know if it has a name, but I'm just gonna call it that. And who knows what's gonna happen with Smash in 2018, this new Smash game. But I'm gonna play one of my favorite songs from Smash Wii U, which was a remix of the Light Plane song from Pilot Wings. I was so excited to hear a song from that, because I love the soundtrack to Pilot Wings. That game has a phenomenal soundtrack too. So we're gonna play those last 4 songs, and then that's probably gonna be it for the night. It's midnight as I'm recording this, so I'm almost like deliriously tired, and my throat hurts. It doesn't hurt anymore, but you can hear it like fading in and out. So we're gonna play 2 songs from Mario Power Tennis: Delfino Plaza Court and Mario Classic Court. Then that weird Splatoon 2 song, and then finally Light Plane, which is a remix for Smash Wii U from Pilot Wings. Yes. And that's about it for this show, folks. Thank you for tuning in, and catch me on various channels, like the main site, otakugamerspot.com, OTKKU, GAMERSPOT.com, for all our current Let's Plays. What's going on the channel right now? What is happening? The Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy Let's Play is still happening. What else is going on? Oh yeah, the One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 Let's Play is also continuing. It started about a week ago. That's still continuing, and then the rest of this is going to be all new stuff. Like, there's going to be a new Battle Archives, there's going to be a new Old Games Done Terrible, there might be a new RPG Journeys, I'm not sure about that one right now, and there's going to be more Stream Archive stuff going up on the channel for sure, so I'm not going to spoil, I'm just going to let you find out. And what else? You can check out this podcast, all 10 episodes now, on soundcloud.com/Chazmosis410, CHAZMOSIS 410. Also on iTunes and Google Play. What else is there? Do we have anything else? Oh yes, on the Twitch next week, next Sunday to be exact, which is the 18th. Yes. We got the we're gonna conclude our Freedom Planet Let's Play, which we started like 2 Sundays ago. We're gonna face the final boss, pretty much. That's all that's left, and then we're gonna play other things. I'm not gonna spoil them yet, but other games will happen after that. So stay tuned to that, and I will see you guys next time. Hopefully not. It won't be 2 months from now. It'll be 1 month. And I'm gonna close things out with a very, very talented vaporwave artist, Night Tempo, with the song "Just Be Yourself." And the song I opened the show with was "Dreamer," which is another one of his tracks. I definitely recommend looking him up. Like, just search Night Tempo in Google or YouTube. You'll find, he has a lot of songs out. You'll find him. Peace.